Okay, well, first of all, I am Majo from Paraguay, and congratulations for the movie.
Thank you.
You.
Well, Domi, how did you feel about your debut as a director? Because we knew you through your work in the short film Bao.
Yeah, I feel very honored and overwhelmed. It's pretty, yeah, I mean, again, it's amazing that Pixar has been so supportive of me telling this story. And like I mentioned before, I hope I am going to be one of many women to come to helm a feature film. And I'm just excited to get, instead of 8 minutes for Bao, I have 90 minutes for Turning Red to tell this this story. So
That's great. Lindsay, and how this film started and what can we expect about
it? It was started, I mean, Domee had 3 great ideas for 3 different films. All of them were kind of girl-led coming of age stories, but this one in particular kind of jumped off the pitch board in the sense that it had such a strong sense of character. Like you kind of knew who Mei was and who Ming was in 5 minutes. And like the way she pitched it was like, you were so clear that this was such a close relationship that was just gonna kind of explode over the course of the film. And so I think all of us were like so drawn to these 2 characters and frankly just wanting to know how she was going to tell this story of these 2 characters and how it was everything in their world was going to just explode. That all just were like, yeah, make that one so we can see what happens. And then, yeah, I think the other thing we always knew about Domee was that she, has a very strong voice and a very specific tone of storytelling, and she's really bold in her storytelling. So I think from Bao, we were all just really, really excited to see what she was going to do with 90 minutes on the screen.
And Domee, how was the process of writing the movie script?
Yeah, I was lucky in that I got to work with Julia Cho, who is the other screenwriter, the main screenwriter for Turning Red, and yeah, like the 2 of us worked pretty collaboratively on the story, and Julia is Korean American, and so she has that background of being an Asian kid, and her relationship with her mom was testy as well. So both of us would always trade stories about how our parents embarrassed us and what drove us crazy about our moms, and that was really helpful in writing the story for Turning Red. And yeah, and I definitely couldn't have done it without her. Like we were kind of joined at the hip, and every time we would show the movie and we get like a mountain of notes, the both of us would kind of go into our office and we'd like try to figure out, how do we address these notes? How do we make the story clearer? How do we make it more emotional? And yeah, because like writing a film or making an animated film is a very collaborative process. And it just takes many very talented people to make one.
Yes, of course. And what inspired you to create the character of Mei, a girl who is growing up in such many problems and
yeah, it definitely came from my own life and my own experience growing up during that time, and just wanting to tell us a story about a girl going through that change, like around that age, around like 13 years old, and going through puberty, going through body changes, and wanting to show kids that it's going to be okay, that we're all going to go through these changes, and it's going to be messy, it's going to be embarrassing, but you will survive, and you will, grow up and become a stronger person because of it.
And Lindsay, what adversities did you face when you were starting out this project?
Well, I think a lot of it was based on, it was interesting because I think Domee obviously from the very beginning wanted to do a different look for the film and kind of really lean into a very stylized film look. And I think initially people were not super sure kind of what that meant exactly, and had some concerns about like, is it going to look 2D? Is it going to look, I mean, a lot of the vocabulary we were trying to use to explain the look was making people go like, I don't know, are we sure we're going to be, is that not really a Pixar kind of standard? So it was great though, because what it meant was that we had to then kind of prove it. We had to do early tests and early kind of animation and early looks and get those in front of the studio very kind of quickly so that we could kind of then talk about what we were actually going for. So it wasn't adversity, it was just more of like a challenge of like, okay, we got to figure out how to get this look kind of in front of people quickly so we can get everybody bought off on it. And then I would say that, you know, telling a story that leans into puberty and periods, and people were like, we're going to keep that in, but I think that we were just kind of unapologetic about it. As a crew, we just kind of kept putting it in, and people were kept laughing and loving those scenes, so that it got everybody kind of just held hands and we're like, all right, we're going to be unapologetic. This is what this story is about. And everybody kind of couldn't help but find themselves charmed and laughing through those scenes every time we showed them. So over time, people just got much more comfortable with that being the subject matter. And I think we didn't have to compromise really anything that we wanted for the final film. I think everybody very quickly got on board with what this movie was about.
Mm-hmm. Domee, I have to ask this. Is there a correlation between a BTS K-pop band and the boy band, the band from the movie?
Yeah, like there isn't a direct correlation, but one of the members of Four Town, Taeyoung, is definitely he is like our kind of homage to K-pop boy bands. I'm a little older than the current generation of people into this generation of K-pop. I was into K-pop in the 2000s. Mm-hmm. I think it's like the second generation, like Big Bang, 2 PM. So that generation. I don't know much about BTS or this new generation, but they seem really nice and they have really catchy songs. But yeah, we wanted to put a character in the boy band to kind of pay homage to the K-pop boys. Yeah.
We have NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys band, boy band.
Yeah.
That's more a generation.
Yes, of course. And finally, can you greet people in Paraguay, invite them to see Turning Red on Disney Plus?
Hi, everyone in Paraguay. I'm Domee She, the director of Turning Red.
I'm Lindsey Colling. Do you want me to introduce? I'm Lindsey Colling, I'm the producer of Turning Red.
Yes, and we're very excited for you guys to watch Turning Red on Disney Plus.
Tune in.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.